Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo. We got Mark. We got James. James is a little bit upset right now. Fuck it, man. We're fucking upset right now. But before we get into all that, don't forget to like and subscribe and write shit in the comments. And if you really like what we're doing, go ahead and fork over some shillings at the Patreon account, right? Yeah? All right, let's get to it.
Still need gloves.
James, man, thank you so much for talking to us. I know it's probably the last thing in the world you want to do right now. But I gotta say, listen, I've watched Man United play a few times at least this season, and this is the best they've played, by far, hands down. And the fact that they came out guns blazing, they did not come out lazy like they did against Sheffield United. So they came out with the utmost respect for your team, and they went at it. And to start the game down 2 goals in 3 minutes from Scott McTominay, who hasn't
never scored. Where'd that come from?
Yeah. I mean, if you started him in fantasy, like, you should be kicked out because that's cheating somehow. Somehow the future.
That guy is crap for Scotland. I mean, what the hell happened to him?
I know. Exactly.
My God.
So, I don't know, man. So, I guess let me hear your initial thoughts or anything you want to say. I know you don't really want to rehash the whole crap, but...
I don't want to dissect it too much. What I will say is this, that, look, we stuck to our guns. I'm proud of the way we played. We didn't give up. Again, it's kind of a situation like Chelsea. I mean, we bring in off the bench, we bring in Shaq and Stroik and Leif Davis, and they bring in Cavani, Van der Beek, and Telles. I mean, come on. Right?
Yeah.
So.
And Pogba's on the bench. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Pogba didn't even play.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter anyway.
Their bench cost more than the whole team.
Yeah. I'm just, look. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'll just reiterate what I said. We are it's a process, right? So we're a club in the making. I mean, it's going to take a while. We need to accumulate talent. We play a man-to-man marking system, which when you go up against, talented players, you can tell the difference in talent. I mean, it's markedly different than when you go up against, teams with lesser talent or equal talent, like a Fulham or something. I mean, we're going up against a team that with superior talent across the board and on the bench. I mean, their subs could start for any other club in the Premiership, so it's difficult. Yeah. But at the same time, look, I'm proud of the lads. I thought that, look, we played with heart. We had some breakdowns. I mean, we opened ourselves up to some serious issues in the back. But that's, we have a makeshift back four right now.
Yeah.
So you knew that was going to be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so we can harp on. Really. Listen, Man United really, they showed some quality in their finishing today.
Yes.
But once again, playing against a makeshift back line. Yeah. What was pissing Mark and I off is that y'all should have had 4 or 5 goals.
Oh, easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
You want to expand?
I talk about it every time we talk about Leeds. Bamford missing shots left and right, over the top, wide, kicking with the wrong foot, headers. It's just it must be so frustrating. Last week, you were talking about giving Bamford the experience so that next year that he can compete. But at what point does he just get so discouraged with his misses that he starts second guessing himself if he isn't already?
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree. He becomes kind of despondent out there on the pitch, and he mopes around for a little bit, and he needs to kind of shrug it off and say, okay, look, I'm a striker. I'm going to miss some. That's just the nature of the beast. That's what happens. I mean, every striker misses sitters. Every single one, everywhere misses sitters. So that's just the way it is. I mean, he's got to kind of get his mind back in it. And that's, again, one of the frustrating things about Bamford is sometimes it's the mental aspect of the game. And I think that's
Yeah.
what Bielsa has to work on with him,
Yeah.
is the mental aspect. And that is, look, take your chances. You're going to miss some, and you're going to miss some easy ones. That's okay. That happens. But keep shooting.
Yeah.
Keep firing away, because there are going to be some that are going to go in.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you just, I thought at the end, that one pass from Rafinha that went through, that got that slight deflection, and he overran it.
Yeah, I really thought
I think that
Bamford
would've
should have
been
had
back,
that.
and then had the scum player not deflected it. But then Harrison, of course, then misses a sitter.
Just missed
so,
it. Yeah. I don't think Harrison was like, wait, why do I have the ball? Like, it went past two of you guys. All right, so.
Yeah, at first when it happened in real time, I thought that Bamford kind of intentionally missed it to allow it to go through to Harrison. But then when they showed it in replay, you're like, okay, well now
he's not that wily.
I don't think he's there
not that
yet,
wily.
James. I don't think he's there to be like Pele dummies, in the World Cup. But so talking about Rafinha, man, he looked good. The dude couldn't buy a goal though. Like, what was good was De Gea had to be brilliant against Rafinha, and he was. He had two clear goals that De Gea just stopped. Another one that probably would have gone wide. Another one that he just missed. But his pace, his crosses into the box, everything were I thought he was fantastic. Rodrigo, on the other hand, not so good. He did not look good at all.
I completely agree with you. Rodrigo kind of disappeared that match.
Yeah.
Rafinha was brilliant, I thought.
Yeah.
He would be up there for my man of the match along with Ayling. I thought until their last goal, I thought Ayling played really, really well.
Yeah.
And
once again, he's not a center back. He's not a center back.
Yeah. Center back is the future for Ayling. It's the future for him. And once he loses some pace, and he gets a little older, he's 30 years old or almost 30. Look, start thinking about it. Start thinking about that transition, because I think that he could make a really, really quality center back.
Yeah.
But,
let me ask you, why did Calvin Phillips get taken out at halftime? Injury?
Really?
Yeah.
It had to be something like that.
Yeah,
you don't
they took him
off.
to the locker room. They took him to the locker room, and I don't know what the injury is. I haven't heard anything about it, but apparently it was, some sort of knock. I'm hoping it's not serious, but because God knows we can't lose him again. You saw when Stroik came in.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no, you guys were a completely different team.
Disaster. Yeah.
Cooper didn't look too bad. I mean, once again, you guys were under an assault, and every time you guys pressed, I was just like, don't lose the ball. Just don't lose the ball. Just don't lose the ball, because chances are it's a goal.
Yeah.
So, and United were more than willing to sit back and let everybody come up, and they knew that in the box, you guys weren't going to score. You guys were going to score off of a break, not once everybody was there. So it's tough, man, tough.
Yeah, United definitely flooded the box.
I mean, look, a lot of the Scum's goals were predicated upon bad passes by us.
Yeah.
I mean, there were passes that kind of, looked good in theory, didn't really in practice, kind of fell apart, ended up at the feet of a Scum player.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, they're off to the races, and they're making, they're making opportunities for themselves in our box, and that's a problem, Of course, we conceded another goal on a set piece. That was another issue.
Last thing, if we want to give credit to saying Leeds United could have had 4 or 5 goals, United could have had a lot more. I think Meslier, Meslier, he was terrible, and he should have stopped some of those goals, at least 2, I thought. He could have done better. But then at the end of the game,
his stops are very, very good.
I was like, where was this? Where was Miss Leslie that whole time?
I mean, I thought it was a tale of 2 halves for Meslier.
Yeah.
Well, the first half he looked really bad. Look, in the system that we play, with everybody going forward, I mean, he's going to have to make tremendous saves.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of the last, bastion back there in front of the goal. He's going to have to make tremendous saves.
Yeah.
And, he didn't in the first half.
No.
The second half, he looked fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, a tale of two halves for him.
Yeah.
But, he's a young kid. I mean, I'm not going to break him over the coals.
No.
I mean, we have, and I thought, and let me tell you, I mean, I thought Liam Cooper had a really good game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And he got a goal, man. Good for him.
Goal.
That's a confidence builder to get a goal as well. Listen, we can't neglect the fact that you guys are a newly promoted team, and this is Manchester United.
Exactly.
And it's not Manchester United from the beginning of the season.
No, these guys have definitely progressed as the season has gone on.
They've come into their own. They are looking like a better team. They're still scum. But
they'll always be scum.
Yeah. But I mean, let's call it what it is. It was a good, exciting, fun match. Shit, I'll tell you what, as an Arsenal fan, if we lost like that every week, I'd be a lot happier than what's going on.
No, he wouldn't.
I would be a lot happier than I am now, losing 1-0, 2-0, where we get a red card, an own goal. We've got as many own goals, and we've got more own goals and red cards than we have goals from open play. It's in the past 10 weeks or something. Anyway.
Yeah, it was Lolo. I mean, at least the effort's there for us.
Yeah,
These guys are working
till the
their asses off back there.
95th minute.
Yeah. So, and that's all I want to see. Because at the end of the match, look, we can play whomever. As long as the end of the match, we may be losing by 3 or 4 goals, but I don't want to see anybody dejected. I don't want to see anybody letting the other players down.
No.
I want to see everybody working together and continuing to try and work towards, at least doing something. I mean, and that's what we did.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
Indeed.
So the effort was there. The result was not.
Yeah.
But that's going to happen again when you're just outmatched.
Yeah.
I mean, and at every place on the pitch.
Look, crazy week, 2 games in 4 days against teams that are ahead of you on the table, and you got 3 points out of 6. That's not bad, man. That's not bad. So,
no, it's not bad at all, and especially like I said, with the difference in depth between us and the scum. Yeah. I mean, the depth between the two teams, it's not comparable.
Yeah.
I mean, again, when they can bring the quality of those players off the bench, and meanwhile we have to resort to bringing our under 23 team off the bench.
Yeah.
That's
definitely. Well, you got Burnley coming up, so that should be more of an actual. That should actually be a match.
Lifter.
Yeah. Well, where we'll see really where you guys are at. That's more of a team where we can see, they're not going to score off of every break.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this too, Lolo. I want to mention this. I'm just going to say this. Look, because I wasn't able to really comment on the Barcodes match, the Newcastle match. I mean, I thought you did a very good job with that, actually.
Thanks.
But I'm going to say this right now to all Leeds fans. We're not as good as that match, and we're not as bad as this match. So we're somewhere somewhere in between.
Very well said.
And that is where we're going to be, for the rest of the season. Angus Kinnear came out last week and said we're not going to do much in January. So any of you thinking that we're going to acquire, incredible players in January, forget about it. Right now, you're going to be for a world of disappointment because that's not going to happen. Yeah. So I think they're going to stick primarily with the team that they have. Yeah. And then wait until the summer. Just stay up, wait until the summer, and then make some moves then. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. And, that's just the way it's going to be. But, the Newcastle match was fantastic. It was a, high point in the season, and everybody was on cloud 9. And then this happens. But don't be dejected. But don't be euphoric about
balance,
Newcastle,
man. It's a balance.
Because again, it's kind of like the same. It's somewhere in the middle. That's where we are.
Yep.
We're somewhere in the middle.
All right, James. Well, great talking to you. On to Burnley and on to our Saints beating Patrick Mahomes today. Yeah.
Breeze is back.
Breeze is back, baby. All right.
Breeze is back. So my Burnley prediction.
Let's hear it.
2-1 Leeds. I think we bounce back. But they're a tough nut to break as far as their defense. Nick Pope, fantastic.
Yep. One of my favorite keepers.
So it's going to be difficult getting it past him. They're very stout defensively.
Yeah.
But I think that we take it 2-1. I think that we bounce back and take Burnley.
Yeah.
So it's going to
The where
We
I
need
see
those
you
3
guys,
points.
the issue with Burnley is their set pieces. They have monsters. They they have
They do.
huge guys. They're very physical in the box, and
Yeah.
it's going to be another one where
I think
you
Chris Wood-
you
I think
can't
Chris
give
Wood
corners
gets
away.
A set piece.
Yeah, Chris
I
Wood.
think Chris Wood scores on a set piece.
Exactly.
Against his old team.
So we'll see. All right. I could see. I think you guys tighten it up, and I'm going to say 2-0. 2-0 to Leeds.
All right.
I'm going 1-0
like the
Leeds.
optimism.
I think Nick Pope is gonna make some tremendous saves. You guys are gonna squeak one in, maybe on a penalty. Who knows? But the Wolves are gonna soften up Burnley for you. We get them tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. All right, James. Great talking to you.
It's a
Go and
pleasure, fellas.
finish tying one off. And we'll talk to you next week. Don't forget to like and
Merry
subscribe.
Christmas, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the
Oh, yeah.
last
Merry
one before
to you all.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Krumbo.
Yeah. We've got the white Christmas for
Enjoy your
you.
Krumbo.
Yeah, the
enjoy
black
Got the
eyes.
great Christmas, the New York Christmas.
All right, James. Thank you very much. Don't be disheartened, Leeds fans. You're still up, and you're still very, very fun to watch. All right. Thank you, Mark.
Exactly.
Thank you, James. Thank you, John. All right.
Peace.
Peace.
All right.
Leeds.
Leeds.